Hello to everybody watching this. My name is Ahmed Banna, and today you're on episode number 5 of the Booming with Banna podcast. This is our second series of a twist with a bit of young people in it. Today we're joined with Abdullah El-Edini and Yousef Sijiny. Both come from a Model United Nations background, a very popular extracurricular for people in our age. They're joined with us today. We're going to talk about everything MUN, everything about how to get there, their experiences, whether it's being a very popular chair or whether it's being founding your own nonprofit. So without further ado, can you guys please introduce yourselves?
Go first.
Okay, I'm Yousef Sijiny, a senior at Darjan International School. I'm a MISK student, I'm a Mawhiba student, and I think I'm well known in the MUN community. Adeni, before you introduce yourself, congratulations. We made it to our first podcast.
We did.
You spelled our names wrong, but عادي عادي. Adeni, you have the floor.
Assalamu alaikum jami'an. I'm Abdullah El-Edini. I am the founder and president of the Saudi MUN Association. I live, laugh, breathe MUN, and we'll talk about that inshallah. I'm a senior in Darjan International Schools, and I'm also a MISK and Mawhiba student.
Nice. Okay. Let's just kick this off. How does it feel like seniors? You guys are done. There's nothing to worry about.
Honestly, I believe it's everything but done. Senioritis is hitting really bad, honestly. But I don't know how to feel, honestly. I'm both really excited for the future, and I'm really worried about the current situation. I'm leaving home. I might go to a new atmosphere, new friends. So
Yeah.
it's concerning a bit.
Yeah. What about you, Yusuf? Same thing?
Wallahi, it's exciting, as you said. It's a bit worrying, but I the excitement exceeds
honestly,
worrisome. And I feel old, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, I look at the grade 1, grade 2 students, and I'm like, oh baby. Surreal feeling. Surreal feeling, wallah.
What background are you guys planning on going into? Or sorry, not background. What major?
Both of us. Same
Can you show
major.
them the back of your hoodie?
Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay. I don't know if you can see.
Medicine.
Medicine.
Yep.
Nice.
So both of us are really interested in medicine. We both have joined summer programs in medicine, both locally and internationally. صراحة, we love it. It's our passion.
Locally and internationally. Can you tell us a bit more about that experience for some of our young viewers who plan on doing those same summer programs?
So our first experience was with Mawhiba. It was in the summer of 10th grade, right?
Yes.
So it was called Oxmedica. It was in King Saud University in Riyadh. Honestly, we went in with zero expectations. We did not know how the atmosphere is, how the people are, but it was definitely an experience. Not as great as we hoped it would be, but we learned a lot from it, honestly. It taught us how to deal with people from different cultures, from different environments. And honestly, for me, it made me realize how passionate I am about medicine. I entered that program. I saw the dissection, the professor, the notes, the amazing drawings he does. And I was like, this is what I want to pursue.
Yeah. What about you?
Wallahi, same thing. It anchored my interests for medicine. Other than the academic aspect, we, as Abdullah said, learned how to deal with other cultures, people of different backgrounds. Although they're Saudi people, but they're different. We learned how to deal with them. We made a so-called multi-million-dollar business idea. It was a project, and actually thinking about it now and having asked a couple of doctors, they told me your idea is actually profitable. Its potential is great. I won't disclose it because we're trying to profit over here.
We're trying to make
Gatekeeping.
It was a really nice experience. It was like our introduction into proper medicine. But then, summer of junior year. Junior year. As MISK students, we got the opportunity to travel to Baltimore, which hosts Johns Hopkins University, the world-renowned best medical university. It was crazy. It was an amazing experience. I got a feel of the college life abroad.
Yeah.
How did it feel? Responsibilities of living abroad.
The dorms.
dorms were crazy. Having a roommate. And from the academic aspect, it was also nice. The facilities were amazing. You cannot compare it with the ones we went to with Mohiba. Academics were good, but not as I hoped.
Here's the surprise.
Yeah.
That's the surprise. Johns Hopkins, and it's not what you hoped.
Johns Hopkins and King Saud University. When it comes to academics, King Saud University was better.
Wow.
We learned more in Riyadh than in the US. So it was an eye-opening experience for us.
Maybe it was a bit more about the experience, I feel.
Yeah.
Like to go through the college life and the college
Yeah.
field outside of your country, maybe that's the new part about it. But that's interesting. Then I want to ask, where does MUN come from if it's all medical?
Okay. So listen, I'll give you the catch when it comes to MUNs. Now, whether you're a doctor, an engineer, or you're even a musician, MUN relates to all of those. It's to me, it's the perfect extracurricular. It's one that combines everything that you hope for and to just navigate the soft skills you need to excel in this world. So I guess MUN is what you need to understand the world and to excel in it.
I like that part.
it
I like the soft skills part.
It encompasses every single soft skill, like from social to academic to research to everything. So if you're a doctor, you need social skills to communicate with patients properly. You learn that from MUN.
Right.
If you're a lawyer, you need to navigate legalities. MUN. If you're an engineer, you need to know how to solve problems. Again,
MUN.
MUN encompasses every single field, which I love.
Here's the devil's advocate part. I am doing, alhamdulillah, I'm doing a lot of stuff, right? TEDx, magazine club at our school, student council, National Honor Society. I dip my hands into everything that I love. I've never, ever, I went to one MUN meeting, just one, the very first one, in the beginning of last year, and I walked out after 7 minutes because I realized this isn't what I wanted to do, and it boils down to one main thing. And if you guys can change my mind, it would be interesting. But I didn't like the fact that I found fake solutions to real problems that were thrown into my Google Drive history after the MUN. That's what, for me, it was like with a magazine, I'm making something, I'm giving it to people. With TEDx, people are all over Jeddah or Saudi Arabia are going to come and give speeches, spread a story. MUN, I feel like I go there, I speak a lot, it goes nowhere, So what do you guys think about that point?
Okay, so let me give you my point of view regarding this whole thing. Now, as people, we are identified with what we show the world. It's a brand. It's an identity that you give to yourself. My identity is making a change. If you go through my Instagram account, you'll find that the Instagram account is ftp.me. It stands for the people. That's my brand. Every person has their brand. And every person, as quote unquote you said, dips their hands in something. And I choose to dip my hand in what makes a change. Now, when it comes to you, you believe that MUN is proposing fake solutions. Well, I believe the opposite. Now, let's take it into actually looking at a different angle. High school and middle school students solving the issue of global hunger. It's extraordinary.
Yeah.
How is that possible? So when you think about it from this angle, it might not find a solution currently, but it develops this sense of feeling, this sense of change.
That there's a problem.
And in the future, it might develop into something greater. Now, when we talk about SMA later on, and I really want to talk about this whole topic and how MUN changed me and made me fight to make a change.
And I think, going back to what you said, you don't like MUN because of creating so-called fake solutions. And you like printing out papers for the student magazine, doing actual work for the student council, TEDx talks. This shows me that, from your perspective, having an impact or doing change is something tangible. But MUN, the skills you acquire and the benefits and impact you leave on people, there's something non-tangible. It's, for example, let's say one of the delegates had, for example, he had stage fright. He can't talk in front of people. As a fellow delegate or a chair or any one of the MUN team, you help this guy or delegate overcome their challenge.
Right.
You help them develop their soft skills. You basically unleash the potential of their brain. So it's something intangible,
Yeah.
other than the amazing social experience you have. So every MUN you participate or attend and go in with the mindset of, I'm going to work, I'm going to make a change. Every conference, step by step, will build an identity, as Abdullah said, and it will it will have a big impact, but step by step, each conference.
So it's about finding out who you are, basically. That's the core of MUN, who you are as a person, what role you play in society. Well, I think that's interesting because I'm going to relate this. My sister went to her very first MUN in Kaust over the past weekend, and she came back, and honestly, I was like, man, wasting your time Rwandan research papers about some security council. Like, I'm like, what are you doing? You know, you could be doing something of value. It holds a purpose. But this is a new idea about finding out what perspective or who you are as a person. Is there a correct type of person in MUN, or whether it be in life, a correct type of personality that always comes out on top?
In life, I cannot give you a general personality. Everyone's different in their own way. Everyone makes an impact in their own way. In MUN, as you said, finding yourself, I believe that most people, or the best way to find yourself, is through helping people or helping other people find themselves. In MUN, best personality is a person who goes to the conference with the mindset of, I'm going to work and have a bit of fun at the same time. I'm not attending a social event. I'm not attending a pop-up. I'm attending a reputable conference. I'm going to make change. I'm going to help others if I can, and I'm going to receive help if I need it, and I am going to put my all. If anyone goes to MUN with the mindset of, I'm going to do my best, they're going to come out winning, whether they're going to get an award or they're going to come out winning by acquiring soft skills and acquiring research.
And I do believe this is implied into everything in our life, whether it was a job, a college application, an exam. If you enter with the right mindset, you're going to get what you want. And I believe this is one of the most important lessons that MUN has taught me. Because every conference I went to with the mentality that I have but one goal, to win that award and to help the people around me, I got what I wanted.
So it's about setting that goal, yani putting it on the bulletin, and you're like, this is exactly what I want. I mean, that's interesting. How would you tie this into your experience for SMA?
Okay, so let me tell you the story of SMA.
Can you tell the listeners or viewers a bit more about what SMA is?
So SMA is the Saudi MUN Association. It is a umbrella that aims to put all of the conferences in Saudi under one pedestal, because we believe in SMA that the potential of the MUNs in Saudi is one that is greater than many regions that are counted as the number one MUN region. Because we've seen people and we've talked to people, our friends from all over the world who attended conferences in Saudi and out of Saudi, and they all said that the conferences here are on another level. Our delegates, when they go to different conferences, they always excel. So here's the question. Why isn't the spotlight on Saudi Arabia? And when my team and I started talking about the situation, we found out that there isn't really a specific organization that takes care of this. And so we came in together, we combined, me and my friends, the people with me in the team, and we decided to take this shot to make sure that actually Saudi reaches its maximum potential. So we do that through making partnerships with conferences, with institutes. We train delegates on their own. We post academic resources for the delegates. So this is what SMA really does. Its one and true goal is to help Saudi reach its maximum potential in MUN.
Maximum potential in MUN. Well, I like where you said you teach people that, and I saw it when you did it at the Nahda Academy. That's very interesting. So you're going for an educational service. You're going for an organizational / logistics service as well. That's the two things that you're going with.
Exactly.
If I was an MUN, why would I choose to go under your umbrella compared to be alone?
Okay, so first of all, the people in my team has seen what it really is like to go to an amazing conference. And the difference between an excellent conference and a good conference is the mentality of the people planning the conference. So for example, you might go to a conference in an institute that is having their first ever MUN, and it turns out to be the best MUN you've ever went to. While you might go to a conference that happened for more than 10 years, find out that it's mediocre at best. So the difference here is about the mentality that the team goes through with and the people who are planning. And here is the difference. Unfortunately, the MUN scene in Jeddah currently, it's a trend. So let's take a look into last year. We only had 4 conferences in Jeddah. Take a guess how many conferences we have this year.
According to my Instagram For You page, hundreds, man. I don't get it. Which is why, that's another reason why I was like losing a bit of respect for this extracurricular. Like when I see it, when you say social pop-up, when I see these individual, not school-led MUNs, it feels a bit, either I'm doing it for the social event and to get followers on my Instagram, or I'm doing it to throw it on a college application and look good without the effort of being Secretary General and going through a voting procedure. So that's kind of how I thought of it at first. But what do you think? First of all, if both of you, what's the difference between a independent Model United Nations and a school-led Model United Nations? Which do you prefer? Which ones oftentimes come out better on top?
Adeni?
Okay.
Okay, we're proud. First of all, we're wearing the hoodies. Crisis MUN, best MUN to ever happen. Adeni and I, along with a team of amazing individuals, we founded the very first student-led MUN conference in Saudi, I think. Yeah, Saudi. So we sparked a chain reaction of student-led conferences. When people saw that you can independently make a conference, they were all excited, they were inspired.
Right.
It is a good thing. But the problem is not anyone can make a conference. So we have a person who attended only one conference in his life. He did not have an impact, or he does not have experience or extensive knowledge. He got inspired. It's a good thing. He got excited. He learned. It's a good thing. But he's like, okay, I want to start my own conference. I'm Secretary General. Okay, what are your qualifications? Do you know how to run an MUN? So I feel like this great amount of inspiration we caused may have resulted in a bit of destruction.
Yeah.
But student-led conferences, basically going to your point, which is better, you can't compare. Some school conferences have been going on for years, even more than a decade, and they're announced to be good. Organization is amazing. Academics are good. Some student-led conferences are also good. They don't have much resources as the schools or as the institutions, but they're still good if the team and if the people, going back to SME's point, go in with the right mindset.
Right.
Some people, no, they just like the social aspect of MUN, and they were like, okay, I want to make an MUN, and it does not acknowledge any academics. It's just a social event. It's pop-ups. So, crisis, we did good thing, but one little bad thing emerged. It's all good. It's all good. We made history, Salah, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
How do you restrict that part of, obviously you can't tell someone don't run an individual MUN.
Exactly.
But how do you restrict people from doing it? Because I would imagine the next steps for you guys is awarding a serious license for people to be able to run MUNs. I feel like that's probably the next step. So you're a license holder that you can start your own one here. How would you go about something like that? What ideas do you guys have?
SMA.
So that's the whole point.
This is the entire idea of SMA. Now, what we aim for, and as I repeated more than one time, is to maximize the potential. But you can't reach the potential you want to reach when there is a hurdle in the way. And what we aim to is to filter those conferences. We don't mind having as much conferences as the ones that are happening. But what makes the difference truly is to filter the conference, to let the people in the community know which conference is really worth going to and which conference is just for the social aspect. And just bear with me that I don't mind the social aspect. Relax. One of the most interesting facts to me about MUN is the social aspect. My closest friends currently are people I met in MUNs. The people who I'm really close with I got to know truly via MUN. It helped me know people who actually I consider family.
Right.
And this is what makes me confused sometimes, because when you go to a conference and you see the academics being excellent, but it lacks the social aspect, you don't have time to meet people, to talk with them, to get to understand them. I feel like there's an error when it comes to this. And same thing goes to a conference that's fully social with no academics. So it's all about the balance you achieve. And when it comes to SMA, our goal is to find this true balance that would put us on the right track to reach the potential we want to reach. So let's say we have a conference that is planned by a student. This student only attended 3 conferences in their life. They did not even share. They were delegates with no awards, but they have connections. They know people. So they decide to start their own conference. Now, you might go to that conference and find the logistical aspect flawless. You'd enjoy the sponsors, you'd enjoy the venue, you'd enjoy the chairs you're sitting in, the plaques you get when you win, but it still lacks the academics. So what happens is, and what is the right process to filter, is that we try to reach out to those conferences, whether we're partnering with them or we're just trying to understand them. And this helps us to get the vision of the person, because we'll never go to a person and tell them, don't do your own MUN. No, it's a lesson. And actually, the failure in making your own MUN could teach you a ton of things that even schools can't teach you. And that's a thing I've seen with a lot of people who started their own conferences and they gave up midway. But it taught them a lesson that made them motivated to do more, but not in MUN.
Right.
They found their own field.
Yeah. This works as a license, then I would assume. How would that work? Like card, certificate, name written somewhere? Or what's the idea behind it?
Okay, so for SMA, we do 3 types of partnerships. We have the partnership, we have the accreditation, and we have the acquisition. A partnership is SMA acknowledging that this conference is worth going to. An accreditation is a conference that SMA believes is the right conference to attend for people coming from outside of Saudi, a conference that fits our vision to maximize the potential. Where an acquisition is a conference we believe that SMA should take over and give their everything to make sure that this conference is the next big hit.
Okay.
And this is the track we're going to work with. Now, SMA is a new organization. This is our first year. We've been only in the field for 4 months now. But as things are going, I'm actually really proud to be part of this team. And the work they're doing is actually extraordinary.
Yeah.
And I do believe that in the next 1 to 2 years, SMA will be having the right control on the MEN community and making sure that everyone, whether they were an international school student, a public school student, or even an international student coming from abroad to attend a conference, would get the right experience.
Yeah. This is all student-led?
It is 100% student-led.
Do you think continuing in a student-led way would still yield the same level of success compared to if it was an adult who was managing it with you guys?
Well, we do have supportive adults who actually had an amazing career when it comes to MUNs. They managed like conferences that are still deemed as the best conferences that happened in Saudi. But as the situation is coming on right now, I do believe that the student-led for this year is the best approach, since we, the students, are who attend the conferences and we see what's going around. And as students who went to over 15 and 20 conferences, we know what it's like to go to an amazing conference and the decline that happened after last year. So attending those conferences and seeing the change that is possible, that's the goal we want to go through. But we do not fight the idea of having an adult to help us. In fact, me and my co-founder, Saeed, we're planning to still work on SMA in the next years when we go abroad, inshallah.
And I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't think it's about students and adults. Actually, adults can be students. But it's all about the mindset. So you can have students who want to work, want to achieve the best, and an adult who just doesn't care, just provides resources, for example. So it's all about the mindset again, whether you're an adult or you're a student.
Exactly. Have either of you guys ever gone to an MUN abroad, like the one in Netherlands?
Soon,
Really soon.
inshallah.
The Yale Singapore one?
No.
Oh,
We have a really competitive one. Edini and a couple of my friends are going. You're gonna see. Just wait and see.
okay. Well, then, with that idea, you guys know what Thyman and all those big MUNs are. Are we looking at having the exact same thing but in Saudi Arabia soon?
No. not the exact same thing. Because when you hear of Thailand, Hague, Netherlands, Harvard, MUN, Singapore, these have big names,
Right.
hundreds of delegates, a lot of media attention. But having spoken to people who already went to these conferences, they're like, okay, they're a big name. They have a nice venue, nice facilities, resources, good food. But it's mid, it's average. It's not wow. It doesn't live up to the name. The academics are okay. The debate is okay. The awards okay. There's no competition. There's no passion. So what we feel like, and SMA, I think you're gonna agree with me. We're trying to have this attention, this big name here in Saudi, along with the quality of a good conference, such as, or like good debate, a balance between the social aspect and the academics. The academics are amazing. People who, for example, attend an MUN here in Saudi Arabia can have a career in politics in the real UN. So the ones abroad, people, they're just a name. They're just a name. At the end, MUN is MUN, and it depends about the people and the mindset.
I mean, that's interesting. I feel like with obviously I've never done MUN, but when you say it's just a name, it shows that you guys are heavily you're bent on the fact that the ones abroad are no better than the ones here, and the ones here are possibly or are better than the ones abroad. But then, what do you think attracts so many people abroad? Is it just Netherlands, Singapore? Is that just the fact that that attracts people to go there?
It actually aligns with the analogy we just proposed before. What did we say? We learned in King Saud University more than Johns Hopkins University. While if you go to a random person and ask him which is better, King Saud or Johns Hopkins, they're going to be Johns Hopkins, the best in the world.
Right.
So, again, it's just a name. What makes it an attraction for people, I believe it's the resources. So the facilities, the media coverage, the attention they get, like representatives from the real UN, and they actually invest, like you get institutions, governments, big people, billionaires.
To make it the real thing,
And
or similar to the real
and
thing.
they invest, like
Yeah.
they invest and they want. So here we're just starting MUN in Jeddah. We want to attract more attention. We want people to invest in us. And then resources, big name. That's it. So I believe it's all about resources.
Yeah.
Just allow me to ask you a question. Why do you do the podcast?
I posted this on LinkedIn. I'm gonna say the same thing to you guys now. Your parents tell you, eat vegetables. No. Ew, no. Yousef tells you, eat vegetables. Yeah, Allah, let's eat vegetables. It works that way with people our age. You are more inclined to listen to and take advice and take the perspective of someone at your level compared to someone older, even though the older person experience out of this world. But it's a sort of it's a wall barrier that we all have for ourselves. This is just the way we're built, the way we are. The point of this is two things. For the more experienced guests I have on the podcast, this room is a megaphone through a young voice for others to listen to really get the perspective of what these people went through and how you can build off of that for your own life or your own career. And then for the younger guests like you guys or Abdul Aziz, it's about saying, if they can do it, why can't I? And it's about cultivating that. It's lift everybody up for those who want it enough. That's basically the point of the podcast.
So when it comes to people our age, we're holding the microphone and giving people our age a lesson. And to me, I believe that everything we do in life is a lesson. Us coming today and attending the podcast with you is a lesson that we'd gain something at the end. And this is what makes, in my opinion, any experience in the world a perfect one. It isn't the resources of the place you attend. It isn't the way it looks, but it's the people around you who went through something, who learned something, and the exchange of lessons that comes through that. And I do believe that through this, it's possibly the only way we can become better. Even if we go on and learn things ourselves, we'd never discover the issues with this thing unless we meet people and talk with them. And I do believe this is what makes the community in Saudi different than all the other communities in the MUN. It's that in here, people are still discovering this new thing. They're coming to it, they're still wandering around, trying to discover themselves. And I know a lot of people who first went to MUNs as a social aspect. They went there to have fun, to meet new people, to sit with their friends, to wear suits and take pictures around. But then, at the end of the day, they learned a lesson that went with them and motivated them to do more. So I know a friend of mine that attended an MUN, and over there they saw a place that it was a sponsor to one of the conferences that did some sort of sweets. It's called Sugared. My friend started his own place that copies Sugared in his own style. So this specific thing does some kind of sweets. He used it in an Arabic way. You know kleja?
No.
It's a gaslimi sweet. He used the kleja. He used the same idea that they do, but it's in our own culture. So he does kleja with the Saudi coffee ice cream.
Oh, what?
And this is not related to MUN in any possible way, but it's still a lesson. And this is what makes our community in Saudi better than the ones outside, because when it comes to those conferences, it's specifically MUN. Well, when it comes to here, it's a
About
combination of everything,
Yeah.
which in my opinion makes it perfect.
So I like what you said, exchange of lessons and learning. That's what sets it apart from every other extracurricular activity. Maybe I'm changing my mind, but maybe. I think it's interesting because a lot of people, especially for our age, whether you're looking at university or being successful in life in general, what you usually tend to look at or look towards is you're looking at the fact that you need to be open to learning, you need to be open to working with people, and you need to hone these skills of being open to this stuff and then applying it to practice to help others also be open to this stuff. And I think that's the interesting part. So then I'd like to ask, where do you see the Model United Nations scene in the next 10 years in Saudi Arabia?
Before I answer that, I want to hear Sijiny's input on this.
Okay. For MUN scene in Jeddah, I believe that it's going to incline like this year. We're going to have a lot of conferences. And then it's going to die out as a trend. It's just going to go down for like 2-3 years maybe.
Yeah.
And then it's going to get back up. People are going to realize the potential, what they missed. And it's going to go back up, reach like, let's say a relative maximum.
The calculus terms is crazy.
It's going to reach a maximum.
Crazy.
But better quality than now. So it's going to decline, then incline back again. I feel like, or that's my vision. It's just a vision, not backed up by any facts.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story that fascinated me. Now, in the SMA account, if you press on our link, there's a slot that allows you to book a session with us. And we've received a lot of different yet very unique meetings. We had meetings with people who never heard what MUN is and they want to learn. We had meetings with parents who are asking how their child did in one of the conferences we partnered with. We had a meeting with a 5th grader, and this was possibly my favorite experience with SMA. A 5th grader that came to me and said, I saw one of your videos on TikTok, and I was wondering how can I participate in such an activity. He told me that he watched 20 minutes worth of videos about MUNs. He wrote a paper that pinpoints how MUNs might serve him. And he was like, how is it possible for me to join an MUN in this year? And I was like, you're still too young, but I'll keep you around. Yeah. I'll talk to you. So when we talk about this, this is something that I've noticed, not just with MUN, but with MISK, with Mohiba, with talking with people around. It is the eagerness in the students to do something. I believe that the students of this generation specifically and the following generations are ones that are not satisfied. They're never satisfied. They're always aiming to do something new. And I do believe, and this comes from my personal story, it comes out of jealousy. Because when I first started MISK, I went through the group and I got really close with the people in MISK. I found people who have their own organizations, who are making a research with a professor in Harvard University.
Yeah.
I found a person that is working with a minister over here in Saudi to promote his project, and I felt jealousy. Why do they do that and I can't?
Exactly.
Why is a student my age, from my city, and from the same environment I'm in, capable of achieving all of these things and I can't?
Exactly.
And I do believe that this gives a motivation to achieve whatever you want.
And I feel like, again, going to change your mind, people are not satisfied of the upcoming generation. They're not satisfied. They want
Right.
more. But they're suppressed. They're distracted. So MUN is a platform for them to discover their inspirations, to start something new, to unleash their potential.
Right.
He found a business in MUN. He got inspired. He started their own business. So MUN, it's a way to unleash the potential of the generation. They're
Right.
suppressed, but when you just give them a couple of minutes to talk in front of people and to socialize and to learn, to research, they're gonna, I don't know, they're gonna reach a relative maximum.
Bro, come on. Come on. Did you guys have a calculus test?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We did.
today, bro.
What unit are you guys on?
So both of us, we applied to the US. We both applied to the US. A lot of universities over there, but I can say like 99%. I'm staying here in Saudi.
I said, what unit are you guys on? Not what unis.
What?
Unit.
Unit.
Yes.
Oh, أنا أقول unit.
We
unit.
don't move on a specific
Yeah, we don't
unit
follow
scale,
the
yeah.
college board. We
Ah.
don't follow the college
But
board.
you're still taking the exam
Yeah.
for that credit.
Yeah.
If
course.
you get, inshallah, if you guys, get in somewhere.
Inshallah.
Okay, that's interesting. What do you think has been the relative minimum of your guys' careers in MUN or just any other lesson in general in life that sort of sparked and made you go on to do these things, whether it's chair hundreds of conferences or start SMA?
Let me give you my motivation. Actually, the point I realized that I could give more.
Mm.
You know what that moment was?
What moment?
When I lost to this guy. It was in BMC MUN.
Yeah.
We were delegates in the same committee and we were killing it. We were in the same team, but we were fighting each other just to prove to the chair that we are the best delegate. And in the closing ceremony, when he won, I actually got happy that he won over me. And I was more happy that he won because at that moment I realized what I did wrong. And I remember staying that week and I contacted the chair, which is Sirine, and we'll come back to Sirine later. I contacted the chair and I was like, what did I do wrong? Why didn't I win it? Give me. And she joined a 2-hour meeting with me and we talked about it. And she explained everything to me. And I took all of that and then I put it in a blender with all the things that I've noticed.
Yeah.
And it really changed me. Not just in MUN, but in everything I do.
That's interesting.
Nice.
I like it because I'll say the same thing for me. Obviously, again, I'm not an MUN perspective, but I will say that I think the lowest point, like the relative minimum of all the as my friends like to call them, the side quests that we're all doing here.
Yeah.
صح? For me, I'd want to say over this summer in specific, when I realized, yani, I took a couple of APs, I got scores back. They weren't like the ones I wanted. That, and then at the same time, I had a meeting about universities and all this stuff, and then the reality hit me when I got to the fact of, this is only reserved to rich white kids who are legacy and all this. And then I also said to myself, I was like, and then when you look at also CEOs and successful people, most of the time their children are also successful because they were born into the privileged concept. Then I think that point from that summer there it's the same thing where I saw the MISK thing. You saw others doing better, and you also saw yourself in, I messed up, I can get back on my feet. And then I realized to myself, when I look at these odds, not just for university acceptances, but there are statistics on how successful a podcast will be. There are statistics on certain selling stuff, whether it's in school or all this stuff. And I realized, the best thing, and I think the only way people can win in life is they don't play by the odds, they create their own odds.
I love that. I love that.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what I firmly like. I strongly believe in, and I don't go by the 4% acceptance rate, or I don't go by 50% profit margin, or whatever. I don't go by that stuff. I make my own, acceptance rate. I make my own profit margin. I think that's what I like to see. But this is something again that I also wanted to talk about, which I hope you guys will change my mind. Is MISK. I was interested because I saw MISK testing the SAT in our school. So I was like, what is this? And then I went home, I did more research. It's a Saudi only thing, so I couldn't apply to it or anything. I was like, okay, put it in the back of my head. And then recently I started to get active on LinkedIn because it's actually a cool thing. So I was active on it and I see a bunch of MISK students. But here's the part that I didn't like. It is a Control C, Control V. مسك موهبة طموح أرامكو. مسك موهبة طموح أرامكو. It's a repetitive like this. You said people are different in MISK, but to me, I feel like you're just creating highly skilled robots. Would you agree or would you counter to that?
Okay. I'm gonna answer by first addressing the points. Both of you said you got the drive to work after reaching the minimum when you lost and when you realized the university. For me, it was two relative maxims. One was chairing in BMC, بترجي MUN. I was chairing with I was chairing 30 to 35. Most of them are university students, 30 to 35 delegates, most of which are university students. And then while reading the confessions, there was a heart-shaped note, and it said, "You're the best chair. Thank you for the amazing experience." And at that moment, when reading it out loud to the committee and seeing all of the smiles lighting up the room, I realized the impact I can have as a chair, the inspiration. This was the first thing. The second thing, which was actually before MISK, as soon as I got accepted into MISK, oh yeah, congratulations, I call El-Edini, I call it. And then I entered the group chat. While I entered the group chat, I saw the diversity of students. As you said, people have their own organizations. Everyone is in a different field. So when I saw the community of people who are like me, who are passionate about something, who are driven, but they have a fun personality at the same time, I was like, wow, okay.
I found my guys.
These MISK 400 students, we can actually literally change the whole world. We are amazing. I sound narcissistic, but no. MISK students are amazing. So going back to your point, we're not robots. Look, MISK, I don't know about Aramco, but I know that for a fact, MISK and Mohiba, they do not just develop academics. They develop your personality and they accept you based on your personality. So I know people who applied to MISK. When you apply to MISK, basically you need test scores and you need to write essays. Essays reflect your personality as per universities. So I know people who got crazy scores on tests on the report cards, and they're academically amazing, but they got rejected from MISK. And I know people who are academically good. They're not wow, they're not bad, but their personality, it's a fun personality. They dip their hands in everything. They are passionate about something, directly accepted into MISK. So MISK students, it's not about academics, it's about personality, and I believe the same goes for Mawhiba. I think it's a bit on a lower level. Aramco focuses more on academics rather than personality. It's even you unconsciously grasp the MISK aura. When I was interviewing a delegate for Crisis MUN, she was a girl 1 year younger than me. And then I was interviewing her, asking her questions about MUN. It was her first time. It was her first time about MUN show. She doesn't have any experience. But from her tone, from her flow, from the words she chose and the knowledge she demonstrated, I was like, at the end of the meeting, by any chance, are you in MISK? And she was like, yeah, I'm a year younger than you, C25 in MISK. So it's all about personality. We're not robots. It's personality. Denny, do you have anything to add?
So Sijiny and I have this game where we look at a person and we're like, are they MISK material? Yes, they're MISK material. So the thing about MISK is, and with all due respect to Mohiba and Tumuh, but this is what makes MISK special. Now, I'm a coffee addict. I drink coffee 3 times a day. So what I do is I get my own beans, I grind them manually,
Oh my God.
and then I make a V60 coffee.
You're one of those.
So what makes a V60 coffee special is that it takes the beans and it filters the perfect and true taste of the coffee. And that is what MISK does. Over 15,000 students apply annually from all over Saudi, from different schools, different environments, yet only 400 get accepted. What I've seen is that those 400 students are split into another half. 200 of those students are truly the elite. There are people who experienced a lot of things. And the interests are really different. So, for example, the majority of high-achieving students in Saudi go through Ibda'. Have you heard about Ibda' before?
I've read it on LinkedIn, but no idea what it actually is.
Ibda' is a research competition by Mohiba. Over 60,000 students apply annually. They do researches at different universities from all over the world with different mentors. And then they're filtered, and then they go to a grand ceremony, which happened a few weeks ago in Riyadh. And they get special awards from companies, so companies recognize them. And then some are given a chance to represent Saudi in ISIF. And the whole ISIF thing is something that actually brings a lot of pride, because I know, like, one of the miskis who I used to talk to a lot is called Faisal bin Fahad. He went to ISIF last year and he won the #1 golden medal in the chemistry research. So he's a student that I've talked to a lot of times. I entered the Zoom meetings of MISK with him. We've got to know each other, and then I hear this news that this guy that I used to talk to just won the golden medal in the chemistry research in the world. So this is the variation that happens in MISK. Some students are interested in this, some students are interested in that, some students are the most introverted students in the world that never leave their home and just focus on their studies. But when you get to talk to them, you'll find how amazing their mind is.
Yeah.
And this is what's really fascinating about MISK, is that although it provides a lot of opportunities, it gives us a chance to travel abroad and attend one of the best summer programs in the world. They provide us lessons to prepare for the college application. But the #1 lesson I took away from MISK was the people I met over there, because they are truly the top 1% of the top 1% of students in Saudi.
It's about the community. First of all, the dopamine rush, the joy you get from socializing with people of the same mindset, same passions. And it's about connections. So let's say Edeni here, he's a MISK student. He got chosen because he's passionate about something, for example, MUN. Let's say in 10 years, inshallah, SMA will be this whole big thing under the government. I know him. We have a guy in MISK who won the golden medal in ISIF. We have a guy that built a particle accelerator. Like that is crazy.
Yeah.
We have a person, for example, that specializes in coffee. I want to buy coffee beans. Okay, I know this guy. We have a lot of people who won Olympic medals in their age group in MISK. So I know like an Olympic medalist. So
the connections part,
connections are crazy, because MISK only picks the best of the best. So you're within the people like of your group you enjoy.
Exactly.
Crazy.
It is.
MISK.
That's interesting. I like it. Am I MISK material?
Just move the mic a bit. Let's check. What do you think?
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
I mean, that's the one thing I don't like. You know how, like, if they could accept international students, I think it would be like, you're still going by their same. You're following suit with what they're saying. Hey, we are in a community that is driven to help you succeed, help you reach the top percent of the 1% of the top 1%. But there is no international part, so I feel like that's the sad thing. Because all unis in the US, there's no 100% US acceptance rate. There is also international. So if they were to implement that, I feel like it's an interesting factor. And also, I met up with I didn't meet up. I spoke to a student who graduated from AISJ here. He he got into Johns Hopkins, but he didn't go. He went to Penn State instead because it's under Aramco scholarship.
Oh, okay.
But he signed I believe signed something where he finishes uni funded by Aramco and goes back to work
Yeah,
for
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I feel like if something like that was implemented, where you outsource or not outsource, but where you get migrant workers that are like they have to be better than the ones that are Saudi that you already have. But if you get those and you lock them in, I feel like that's a smart perspective. But that's something we'll see in the future. So then I've listed MUN, MISK, and Mawhiba. Those your three guys as like descriptors. Um, I want to talk a bit more about your personality outside of academics and outside of these big titles.
Mm.
Did you write in your college essays about coffee?
I did. I
There you
actually
go.
did.
I can tell.
I actually did.
And what part of being different in that sense where there's something unique about me? Because then I'll take back what I said about the robots thing. But there are robots in general who go by this. Oh, I'll do
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and somehow I'll yap about it in my college essay and say, hey, nice, صح? So, what is your opinion on a unique, like, what personality would you guys look for in a friend? Because you cannot succeed without having a group of people behind you. There's no individual leader. There is a group of people, and then one person stands out. So, what personality do you guys think makes a good friend with a good mindset who wants to reach the top of the pyramid?
Although it was stressful, I was worried. We were also worried. The college application process, like, brought and made us contemplate and reflect on who we are.
It was actually so fun. Like when I
So
look
fun.
back,
So fun.
it was
Yeah,
so fun.
so
I
fun.
loved it. I was really stressed, and I don't know if you can tell, but I have a white hair
What?
over here.
That's crazy.
So I was really stressed. There are some nights during the college application season where I slept for under 30 minutes. Yes, under 30 minutes. And when I look back into it, I actually enjoyed it. I discovered a aspect of myself that I did not know was there.
Yeah.
The ability to just grind my mind and get this specific word I'm searching for in under
Exactly.
30 seconds. It was life changing.
And there was one question, I believe, from Brown University, which asked you to describe yourself in 3 words. Probably the hardest question. Going back to your question of what do I look for in a friend? I don't look for success. I don't look for if this person is good at this. Is he like good in his interests? Does he score high grades? Is he an Olympic medalist? Is he a professional? I don't know, professional in whatever. I look for morals and principles. So when I was a kid, my mom taught me how to choose friends. She instilled in me like a device, like a metal detector to detect if a person is a good friend or not. So I can have a friend who, for example, only does one thing in his life. Just make coffee. I have a friend who's a barista. He doesn't do anything. He's just a
Makes
barista.
coffee.
He just makes coffee. He's passionate about coffee, so that's a good thing. And he's morally, principally inclined with moral standards, principles, religion. So it's just you listen to your gut feeling when choosing friends. If you get like a hesitant, not so okay feeling, okay, stay away from that. Stay
Yeah.
away from them directly. It's gonna be like, I don't know. It's a moral compass.
Yeah.
Subhanallah,
Yeah.
it is a compass.
Can you sacrifice morals for success, and is it allowed?
Not at all.
Hell no.
Not at all. Because I do believe that everything that you are going to achieve is destined.
Mm.
If you're going to be great, you're going to be great regardless of the path you take. But it's about the story you give to the people. Did I reach this position while I stayed true to myself and respected the path that God has chosen for me? Or did I go and broke all the rules and disrupted the lives of many people?
Yeah.
And this is what makes the person true or not.
I'm gonna be the podcaster here for a bit.
Mm.
Ahmed, if you would like describe your aura, your personality in like a brief sentence,
A brief sentence.
who are you? What are the things that make you special?
Oh, I was gonna check my Instagram bio because I had something on there.
It's not about the achievements.
No,
it's
not achievements. It
just
was
personality aspects.
okay. I think for me it is about One sentence is, I refuse to settle for average. If I could brown essay, I would just say refuse. I don't
3
know.
words. See, it's
Uh,
very tough.
I'm counting.
I'm not average.
Okay.
You're missing one word, but okay, I'll let it pass.
But the thing is, for me, I think my aura is I refuse to settle for average. And if we both, we don't have to have the same goals, and we don't have to have the same academic perspective, or extracurricular, whatever. It's about the fact, like, are you ready for whatever you love to do, to just lock in and do it? If that's you, then yes, yalla. I feel like that's my aura, where I want to show you that I want to be a living example to others about how it looks like to refuse to be average, to refuse to be the normal. Because with everything that we have today, we've normalized being normal. We've normalized being, it's okay, adi, no problem. This is something that and also the point of this podcast, point of TEDx, point of magazine, point of all this studying and all this stuff, is I strongly, 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 strongly believe in, I was not put on this earth. I have average Egyptian's life expectancy is 76 years. I was not put on for 76 years for me to be average. You know, it's not like it's not like this. And then when I look at my own parents' story, my parents came from, like, my dad came from a village, my mom came from a city. You guys, like, no one will know, and they're from Egypt. And then, mashallah, they've come here, and I'm in this school, and we're working hard and all this stuff. They didn't do all that. Like, the jump to go from a village to here is like that.
Relative
For me
maximum.
not to do the same
Yeah.
exponential jump right there, for me not to do the same thing, I feel like it would be a disgrace to who I am as a person. So I feel my aura is, I can't be average, cannot.
And then if you like reflect a bit, your perspective on average depends on your community. So, for example, the community you're in right now, you're not average. But if you go to like another country with another or like another different community of other people, you might be average.
Yeah.
So the goal is to be not average, not normal, or unique across the whole globe. That's the thing. And I believe some people are born with it. Some people are born with just uniqueness, talents, weird, extrinsic things. And some people have to work hard for it.
Yeah.
Ardeni, how would you describe yourself?
Honestly, I do believe that I am a mix of both, because growing up, I was never the special kid. I had to put on the extra mile to achieve what is above average. So when I realized that, wallah, it's possible for me to become above average,
Right.
I've noticed my talent, and I embraced my talent, and I recognized at that age, which was around like 5th grade, that I am not average. And if I agree to be like the other people who are around me, then they'll pull me down with them, and I'll never achieve what I was destined to be.
Exactly.
And that's what I honestly go and thrive for. It's to, first of all, acknowledge the gifts that God has given us, the talents, the things that is in every person. And I do believe that every single person on God's green earth is capable of being not just above average, but being the best.
Right.
It's all about the mindset.
Right.
All ties to mindset.
All ties to mindset.
I asked this to Abdulaziz, the F4 driver I had, and I'm going to ask you guys the same thing, is when we're discussing mindset, something that does come into play is ego, is how good do you think you are compared to everyone else? How much right do you have to yourself just because your name is your name? Is this a good trait, and is it a necessary trait for success or for reaching the next level, to have an ego of some sort?
I feel like most people confuse it. It's not one thing. It's not an ego. There's self-esteem, and there's
Pride.
what was the other thing? Self-esteem is the good thing, and then you have overconfidence.
Yeah.
If you have self-esteem, that's a good thing. You realize your value, what you can achieve, but you still realize the value of others. You don't think you're superior. Maybe you're better than them in a field, but they're better than you in another field.
Right.
So that self-esteem will help you get to the top. I want to do this. I'm good at this. I will continue doing this. Overconfidence leads to a fake, fabricated image that I am the best. I'm going to be the best, and no one is better than me. You're going to work alone, and then you try, and all crumbles, and you fail.
Right.
So please don't confuse self-esteem and self-confidence. Self-esteem good, overconfidence bad.
Right.
Adeni.
I have a very controversial view when it comes to this. Now, a lot of people view me as a very, very narcissistic person. But in reality, I do believe I'm a very humble person because I do believe my ego comes from the experiences I went through. Like, I'll give you a story. During Crisis MUN, I used to walk like I owned that place. I used to not even engage with people because I am the Secretary General at the end. At the last day, 30 minutes before the closing ceremony, everyone was rushing to get their certificates, and I was holding a broom cleaning the floor. Because at that moment, I realized that everything we've worked for at this certain moment makes us all equals. I am equal to the admin that is supposed to, at this moment, make sure that the stage area is tidy. I am equal to the delegates who paid to participate. And this taught me that the true identity of a good leader is to put themselves in the shoes of every person under them in every step of the way.
Right.
So I realized at that moment that, honestly, ego will always put you on a pedestal, but in order to achieve what you're going for, you need to be humble.
Right.
There's a balance. Again, all
It's a
about
balance.
balance.
It's all
A good
about
MUN is about
balance.
balance. Success is a balance between self-esteem. So, and it's crazy that all of the things we're talking about right now, the topics, the subjects, all of them were reflected in my college portfolio.
Oh, lovely.
Every college essay
Yeah.
asked for a specific aspect, and MUN was reflected. Extracurriculars were reflected. Everything was reflected. So,
You told your story.
yeah, be excited, but a bit worried about the college application.
We should have had this podcast before application season to really think deep about who we are. You
Next
know?
generation.
Next generation.
Next generation.
Inshallah.
All right, then. With that note, I want to thank you guys for coming on here. It's been an absolute pleasure, an amazing, amazing, amazing episode. I want to thank everybody who has watched or listened to this episode on YouTube or Spotify. Soon, Apple Music. Yay.
Okay.
So, thank you guys for listening, watching. Thank you guys for coming here again. We loved the lessons, learned what MUN is all about, SMA. Do you guys have anything to close off with?
First of all, Ahmed, I'd like to thank you for having us today.
You're
Like,
welcome.
I really enjoyed this, and I believe Sijiny did too. I just want to leave on a note for the students our age, the students who are currently overwhelmed. They're currently struggling with education or the whole process. This is a note to leave, as we say in Arabic, حلقة على إذنكم. This specific idea is what honestly made me go through. As people who are currently living, we have a purpose. One day, all of us are going to die. We're going to leave this earth and go to another place. So we should give life everything we have, because if we stop at a difficult point, a relative minimum, everything we worked for is going to go like dust in a sandstorm. And this is what makes you a true person. Just stay true to yourself, and no matter what, never give up.
That was amazing, Adani. Thank you, Ahmed, for having us here. We're honored. It was an amazing experience. To end this on a solid note, we have been put on this earth for a purpose. You said everyone has a purpose, and indeed, everyone has a purpose for this world. But all of us have a unified purpose, which is do good in your life, die, go to paradise. That's it. It's solid. No one can refute that. So focus on this unified purpose. This should be your main purpose in life. And below it, the second purpose, which is a life, whether you're passionate about coffee, passionate about MUN, passionate about a podcast. Put your all into everything. Help people. Helping people is what makes you great. And always be grateful and say Alhamdulillah.
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 Exactly. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. Alhamdulillah for this podcast. You know, it was amazing. We'll see you guys next time. I'm not sure when you guys will be watching this, but inshallah, the episode after this one comes out in 1 to 2 weeks. Thank you guys one more time, and goodbye.